Well, welcome to Etch in Life. We have Barrister Tung, Hang-Tung Chow. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Well, it's good to see you again, Tung. Last time was 2.5, 3 weeks ago, almost, right?
Yeah.
That was before June 4th.
Just before June 4th, yeah.
Before June 4th, and we were talking about whether people would still come out and commemorate June 4th. And then we heard that you were detained for like 33 hours and got released.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, and you became something like an international sensation.
All right.
Junior
Really?
sensation, but then you were in the limelight, so to speak, right?
Sure.
And for those who watch Etch in Life now, it is really life. We have a Hang-Tung Chow, barrister, also activist on Etch in Life. How are you feeling now?
Hot.
Hot, yes.
Yeah.
Political-wise, it's hot in Hong Kong.
True.
Always in June, at least until July 1st. And if there is a normal legislature, people go on holidays in mid-July. Now, I guess people could even relax a little bit more for the legislators anyways. Right?
Yeah, no one care about them anymore now.
I think it's more like a rubber stamp legislature.
Rubber stamp.
Yeah, to some people to know about the current situation in Hong Kong now. It's almost 2 weeks since you got released from the police station. You are not charged.
Not yet.
Not yet, right? But then when you look back to what happened on, I think it's June 3rd, right? They detain you?
June 4th.
June 4th
morning of the June 4th. Yeah.
June 4th, right? Before you went to, you were trying to go to
I was going
commercial
to
radio.
For
Right.
Radio show talk that morning, and then
Right.
Yeah.
How was the treatment for that 33 hours? Was it like humane, inhumane?
Well, actually, they are quite polite.
Yeah.
Because I think that, of course, they know about all the tension there.
Yeah.
They keep complaining to me how the window of their police car was damaged by the cameras of the journalists and all that, and they know everyone is taking photos, videos of them taking me away and all that. So they didn't really dare to do anything in that sort of situation, and they are quite polite. So throughout, but you can feel that they are not in any urgency to do anything. They arrest me that morning and just leave me in the cell for the better part of the day.
Right.
So it's basically the goal is not to interrogate me or get anything from me. It's just to put me there in the cell so that I cannot go anywhere else.
Yes. And was it the NSD department or was it?
No, it's just the TungChow, what's that called?
Yeah. The whatever crime bureau.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the NSD is the most powerful department within the police force now.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. They
have all this extraordinary power under the NSL, right?
It's more than surreal. That's the word I can think of. And since your release, we all heard about your speech outside the police station, and I think back to normal. I know, like your daytime job is a barrister, and your other hat is an activist fighting for democracy, focusing more on the case for the Tiananmen people who were persecuted. But Beijing would never say sorry for what happened 32 years ago. And most people in mainland China, they don't even know about Tiananmen massacre happened. And I really want to ask you again that, is this a fight that we are just too idealistic as Hong Kong is? And I know my stance as a hedge fund guy, I know why it is important, because when I see there's candlelight vigil on June 4th and July 1st rally, that means Hong Kong is safe, because there is the opposition voice, so to speak. But China, people from mainland China, they don't care anymore. So is this a futile fight that we are just too naive? And I say this to myself too, and I want to ask you.
I think what happened this year in Hong Kong actually demonstrates how this is not a futile fight and how this is not just being idealistic and useless. Because for this whole year, we have been so subdued under the NSL and not doing anything. And this commemoration of June 4th become that chance that people come together, go onto the streets again, shout slogans together again, and see each other again.
Yeah.
So the commemoration actually have a life of its own beyond the original meaning of just seeking justice for the June 4th victim. Because of that sort of idealistic values in this whole event, it become a focus point for the struggle as well, for the opposition against the one-party dictatorship. So it will never be futile to insist on the right thing, to build momentum around it. It will never be futile. And in precisely because the Beijing government would not give justice on its own, that's why we have to continue this fight. We have to continue to preserve the memory on our own, because we can't depend on our government.
Right.
In a more democratic country, maybe you can depend on your elected representative. For us, we can only depend on ourselves, and we have to support each other, all those people who are under this dictatorship right now, including the victims of Tiananmen and victims of all the political persecution right now in Hong Kong as well.
Some people call we are having a Tiananmen 1.0 in Hong Kong started in 2019 since the enactment of the national security law. And as you and I witnessed too, a lot of people are detained or are serving prison terms, not from NSL, but from other charges.
Yeah.
Like going to the Victoria Park for the Tiananmen
Yeah.
vigil. And most people think that this would get worse and businesses are leaving. And as you read surveys from the American Chamber and then comments from the former Consul General from Canada, people are having plan B of sorts, right? This fight, I know it's broad, but also it seems that it's not an easy fight anymore. And then July 1st is coming up, and then most likely there will not be a rally on the street. And you, as an activist, what can you do? Not just on July 1st, but let's focus on July 1st.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we need to voice our and in whatever way that we feel that we can on that day. If you feel like you can go on the streets and go on the street, you feel like you can wear black t-shirt and show your support for the cause, show your support. You feel like you can say, have a street booth, hang up and hand out materials in support of the movement, and do that. So, but I think we need to show that we are still acting, we are still in the movement, and people are still there. It's important to do that. So yeah.
Right. You heard about, and I'm sure you do, the raid of pro-democracy newspaper called Apple Daily recently. And it's not just Jimmy Lai. Jimmy Lai now it's serving prison terms because of his alleged crime of participating in the illegal Tiananmen vigil last year, right? Already serving prison terms. Albert Ho as well, right? Also from Hong Kong Alliance.
I think they're serving prison term for other assembly.
Illegal assembly.
Yeah,
the different cases. Yeah. But no matter what, it seems like Beijing doesn't like any big gatherings that could exert influence.
Yeah.
That makes Hong Kong look very much like China, even though the basic law tells us that we still have the right to have gathering, protest, rallies, but it seems like it's just on paper.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I think the right to assembly, to demonstrate is being hollowed out from all these cases in the past years. Well, there are still lip service to it. And a lot of the judgment will begin by saying that, Hong Kong people have the right to assembly, but such right is not absolute. And then you get all those very heavy sentences for peaceful assembly. Yeah, I've said that quite a few times. I think it's against the international law on human rights. I mean, there's an international standard that peaceful assembly should not be subject to punishment. It's a right, but then Hong Kong doesn't seem to be respecting this right now.
Are you disappointed with the way Beijing treats Hong Kong? Because some critics, not those who are active politically, those in finance are thinking that Hong Kong it's slowly getting pretty much into a kangaroo court system, meaning it's meaningless because it's a sham court.
Yeah.
People don't pay respect to the court system because the court, the judges, and also the whole legal framework is supposed to protect people, Hong Kong citizens and people who call Hong Kong home, expatriates, and protect the properties of businesses. So it's like everything has changed.
Yeah.
So the NSL, instead of giving protection for national security, is doing more damage than good. At least that's what some people think.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I never use the word disappointed because I never had that expectation.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that China is a one-party dictatorship.
Yeah.
They squeeze out their citizens' freedom in every way imaginable inside China. So you never expect them to treat Hong Kong well. But of course, you will be still angry about what's happening in Hong Kong. You are angry about how they are destroying these places, how they're destroying all the institutions, all the respect and trust in the judiciary, in the police, in all establishment. So of course, yeah, I think I do agree that they are the one who are, the government itself is the one who is endangering, if you call it national security in Hong Kong. You're making the society unstable. You're dismantling all the trust in the society. You're making things unworkable. I mean, by removing all dissent, you are actually endangering your own national security by making the society more unstable, making all this wrongdoing, all those unjust things. They cannot. You're killing off your correction mechanism. I mean, dissents and opposition leaders are important because they keep the society functioning.
Right.
They expose what's wrong and give you a chance to correct things. And now no, what the government say is the law, and there is no dissent allowed, and this is not healthy. And this is, in the long run, you're creating a more unstable and dangerous state.
Now, Barrister Tung, I have to pick your brain because as business person, we are perceived as selfish people, myself included, of course. But if the rule of law, at least that's what some people, and there's quite a large number now, that they think the Hong Kong common law is not intact anymore because with the NSL, has been enacted almost a year now.
Yeah.
When we see so many business people and professionals like yourself, and then Albert Ho, who is a barrister, and then not barrister but a solicitor, and then there's Alvin Young, who is now detained, who might lose his license to practice as a barrister because of the NSL. To me, NSL is just a political tool to make Hong Kong look like China, right?
Yeah. To remake.
So why should we still invest in Hong Kong as fund management professionals? Why not choose another common law country where things are stable when we are not living under threat? Please help me. I'm just trying to understand because I'm not a legal person. I'm just, as I say, just a money grabbing human being, right? Trying to extract money from the market. So what's the edge of Hong Kong now?
I can't answer you. I think I do agree that as a rational business decision, probably there will be other greener pasture elsewhere. But for those of us who are Hong Kongers who are here, we stay and we invest here because of our love for this place. But that is not something that I can impose on someone who are outsider and choosing the best place to invest. Hong Kong is definitely not the best place to invest right now if you look around the world. So I don't have an answer to that.
And how about asset protection? That's something I think I need to ask you because it seems like those who are alleged to be breaking the NSL, the security minister has the ultimate power to tell the banking authorities and then just to empower, I don't know, like probably instruct the banks to first of all freeze the assets of the person, right, who is the director of that company. So it's more than chilling, because he has the discretionary power to do that. And then we see that's exactly what happened in Apple Daily's case, and also to, I think, the majority shareholder of Apple Daily, Jimmy Lai, right?
Yeah.
Personal account, and also it's a private company's account, and now Apple Daily's 3 accounts. So if I were another business person, after they finish, I like to use the word purge now, because to me it doesn't make sense. So this is my own opinion. So if I'm even more pro-establishment, and if for some reason the NSD network of police think that I would be classified as someone who was not patriotic, or for whatever reason, and then I fall into that fatal trap of the fate of having my assets frozen, then it's quite scary.
Yeah. But to be fair,
Yeah,
as a barrister, I have to stress that the power to frozen assets of a, say, criminal enterprise has always existed even before the NSL.
right.
The problem now is how this power to control criminal activities have been applied in quite a blanket way to people and companies who we are regarded as normal in a usual democratic society, a newspaper company or a political organization. That's the arbitrary and politically motivated way this power being applied that's frightening, and that's giving no stability to anyone who wants to invest, because you can be classified as a political enemies without you knowing why, without you knowing when. So how can business function in that sort of climate? So of course that is quite destructive of people trust in, of people, businessmen trust in Hong Kong, right? If your assets in your company can suddenly be frozen that way.
Okay,
without any sensible explanation in criminal law. I mean, look at what happened to Apple Daily. What's the justification for it? News reporting?
I don't know. I want to ask you, because I don't follow all their news. Yeah. I mean, I sometimes I write in their finance column. I as I say, I'm just a selfish business person, so I don't go to all rallies, but I do go to the July 1st and then the June 4th. Right, for reasons I believe in, because I believe that it is a mistake that Beijing needs to reconcile with the mainland people and also Hong Kong. But then I guess one last thing before we finish this, I know it will take a long time to answer, and there is no real answer to these questions. It's how do we know the ministers are in the right state of mind? And I'm kind of concerned about it, because when the U.S. Treasury Department, they sanctioned, I think, close to 20 Hong Kong and mainland officials who have the final say in Hong Kong. Those from the liaison office or the Hong Kong and Macau affairs, and then the Hong Kong ministers, and including the CE, they have to report to them. Lok Wai Ling, Zhang Anhong, and then Ha Bolong, right? So these are like the key figureheads, right? And I see, and it's not just me seeing, it's when we see some of them, when they host a response to the reporters, I see, it's almost like the tone, it's like, now it's my turn to punish you, instead of saying what's the reason behind, like the rating of Apple Daily. And then I see a lot of retaliation at the personal level, instead of saying, why has this company or this particular person, so-called electricking the NSL. So I'm afraid as a business person because I don't know what would happen to my counterparty. Would it happen to my prime broker, for instance, who could be a European-based firm, who could be a US-based firm, because there's a trade war going on between China and Europe, some EU countries, and also the US. So would they be targeted next? And then if they got sanctioned, because there's an anti-sanction law passed by the NPCSC just 2 weeks ago. So if that prime broker, that meaning that investment bank, got punished, so would I be at risk too because I'm their client, right? So if you punish my stock loan, I'm a stock loan borrower, and if you punish the investment bank because you guys are having a trade war, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah, who knows? I think because the power under the NSD is so absolute, right? There's no one overseeing it. It's above all laws in Hong Kong. You can't even oversee its budget.
Yeah.
And people in that position of power is corrupt. And there's always this risk that they will abuse the power and no one can counter them, no one can check them. So I think your worry is valid. I mean, personal thing, we will come into that.
Have you talked to any medical professionals? Because it's one year now. I mean, Barrister Tung. I'm worried because we are talking about money, right? And then either your personal safety or your personal and company assets. These are the things that entrepreneurs and business people care about. So if I don't know the minister's state of mind, I mean, mental state of mind is still intact, then I'm in trouble, right?
Well, I haven't, so I can't really answer that.
But thank you so much, Barrister Tung, for appearing at Etchin Live. And I know there are a lot of answers that is still, questions unanswered.
Yeah.
So what can I say? So I guess we leave it to the next show. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.